Oh god, what a great way to start this video. Me yawning. What's going on, guys? It's Cam here. Sorry I haven't been here much lately. I've actually just been pretty much completely inactive the past 2 months. That's been due to work, school, some personal things that I've been struggling with. Not to make this video down or anything like that, but that is the reason why I haven't been talking to many of you guys lately and why I haven't been playing the game as much, so I do apologize for that. But we are back again. I promised a bunch of you guys that I would do a red guide, and to be honest with you, the two initial yellow guides was just to help a handful of friends and some kitties. That's all it was meant to help. And I had a lot more success. I had a way bigger audience than I planned to. So you guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for the support. You guys were I was shocked. I'll be honest with you. I was shocked. Not to say that I were at 100K, like all those other people, but the fact that you have a couple hundred people watching you, that just until you experience that, and you're a nobody player like me, it just brings a smile to your face, even if you didn't want to smile. So thank you so much for your support, guys. You guys are awesome. But to keep in mind, look at all these DMs. I mean, I've been talking to all of you guys, so if you have any other further questions, comments, suggestions, please DM me. I'm more than open up to discussion with you guys and answering your questions. Keep in mind, I am on the Eastern time zone of the US, so today's what, Monday? Yeah, today's Monday. It's 11:30 right now. Now that being said, I do work IT at nights though, so I go in at 6 p.m. and then I get off around 7 a.m., which means I get home around 7:30. So kind of 7:30 to noon is kind of my downtime to do whatever I want, and then I sleep. So if I don't answer you guys at a normal time, that is why, but don't worry, I will absolutely get to your guys' questions and messages for sure. Now, today's video is going to be going over a couple of different things. We're going to be going over red, yellow, the changes to the two, which one's better, which one's viable, when do both work, things like that. So starting off with yellow, the changes to yellow line. It's kind of interesting actually. So if you go and look at the patch notes, so this is update 28.1.3 if I remember correctly. If you guys go look at the patch notes, marked target, diminished target, hampering, and all that good stuff was supposed to be classified as a javelin skill, not a javelin gambit, which means it was no longer supposed to proc STM, seize the moment. However, as usual, SSG. Oh well, it's not going to do it this time. But anyways, these skills still proc seize the moment. Don't know how, don't know why, but they do. They're not supposed to. Let's see if it'll do it this time. Yep, there it is. That was a marked target. So they're not supposed to proc it, but they do. Now, one good change, well, I say one good change, a lot of you guys are going to be sad about it, but it is a change that needed to happen, was improved hampering now will no longer slow mobs that are immune to slow effects. Now, yeah, sure, that makes acid phase a little bit harder, but I mean, all you have to do is bounce Cappy Muster, make haste, and bear sprint. I mean, that's not that difficult. So that was a good change that needed to happen. It didn't make sense for it to do that anyways. Now, range resounding and range near RS. Those also still proc seize the moment. Yep, there he goes. So the scaling values of yellow have changed. There will be changes coming to these. I'm sure this stuff will get fixed. So don't rely on this to proc STM. I dare say, don't get into that now. I mean, use it obviously, but don't get into the habit of relying upon it, right? Because when you're practicing for the new raid and you're practicing on the DPS and your cans wanting you to hit 220, 230k DPS parts, right? And you're using this to get that, and then it gets taken away, well, then what are you going to do, right? So just keep in mind that we don't need to be relying on that. Now, another change that happened is the scaling values of the dots were changed. So let's go Brink of Victory. So if you guys remember, we used our crafted weapon for all bleeds and all tier 2 and tier 3 light dots. But Brink of Victory here, I have my crafted on, as you can see. Brink of Victory, 38.8k, LI equipped. Oh, wait, I might have just lied to you guys. Okay, yeah, so crafted on, right? Brink, 35.3k, LI equipped, 38.6k. Now we do Piercing Strike, go back to the crafted, 35.5k, or sorry, 32.5k, LI equipped, 35.6k. So, finally, we really don't have to use our crafted anymore, except for the bleed lines. So, still need to be swapping, but not swapping as often. That makes it a lot easier to work with, right? So keep that in mind. That was another change in yellow line. But really, other than that, I mean, not much to go with there. Red line, however, let me get out of combat. It makes it so irritating when I try to show you stuff. Let's go. Alright, red line. Yep, there it is. Now, finally, my god, finally, it only took them 4 years. Our dots have been fixed, which means red line overall is now the meta. Red line is pretty much out DPSing yellow in almost every single circumstance. Yesterday was literally my first, well, it was yesterday or was it the day before? I don't remember. It was either 1 or 2 days ago. It was my first day back, and you can see that I think it was here? Yeah. This was my second or third parse in red, and I had a 221k parse over 3 minutes. And keep in mind, that's without any new gear. I mean, that's without the new runes. That's with all the rem gear, things like that. So I felt pretty good. Felt pretty good with that, getting back into the swing of things. Who knows? Maybe that's not even close to what you're supposed to be doing. I don't know. Maybe you guys can tell me. You guys know more about it than I do, probably. Now I am going to quickly go over my gear because I know some of you guys are wondering why on God's green earth do I have that much crit. So there were 2 scenarios that came into my head when I first saw this change, where you can get additional levels in your virtues, and like, look at that. That is so much physical mastery. Like, that is just so much physical mastery. And I don't think I even have my food on. Yeah, I didn't. So I'm at the crit cap. I am at the physical mastery cap, and I took off like 5 physical mastery essences. So my thought after that, I had one of 2 thoughts here. I was at the crit cap, but I decided to keep putting on more crit, and that took my devastating hit chance from 6% to 8%. So I increased my devastating crit chance by 33%. That's pretty significant, especially considering, I mean, devs hit pretty freaking hard on your light dots, especially Desolation and Range Resounding. I also increased the magnitude of my critical and devastating hits by 10%. At the crit cap, I believe it's around 30, 31%, somewhere around there. And as you can see, we're at 39.3%, and it'll only go up from here. So this was one of my ideas that I had. I took off physical mastery essences. I used the additional levels of virtues, food, buffs, things like that to keep me at the physical mastery cap. And then I raised my crit to increase my devastating crit chance and how hard my crits and devs are going to be hitting. The other idea I had was take off some of the crit essences, put on some of the physical mastery essences, and put on items like, where did it go? There it is. All right. 3.5% tactical multiplier. And there's ones that are even more. There's ones that are up to 5%. So if you can find 2 of these and get 10% tactical crit multiplier, then, I mean, all of your light dots are hitting even harder. They're being multiplied. The crit multipliers are being multiplied. And you're still going to be at the crit cap. You're still going to be at the physical mastery cap. Keep in mind, I've only been testing this for about a day, so I haven't done anywhere near enough testing. But my thought process was increasing the crit and magnitude devastating hits of all of my abilities, including my bleeds, basic attacks, gambit builders, things like that. Getting an overall smaller percentage is going to outweigh getting a smaller table of skills, a bigger damage advantage. Does that make sense? So basically, this is going to be buffing everything at a smaller percentage. This is going to be buffing nowhere near as much, but at a bigger percentage. And so I'm assuming that this is going to outweigh it. But like I said, I haven't done enough testing. So that is why I have hella crit. Now, sure, you could have just ignored all this and just put more morale essences on, which I probably will do in the future, or at least I'll have swappies for it. But again, I'm just toying around to see how much deeps I can do, right? So that is the reasoning for my gear right now, and I keep in mind that's going to be changing as I get the new runes, as I get some of the new gear, new essences, etc., etc. But that is all to come in the future. So redline, what changed in redline? Again, scaling of the dots changed, and finally, Spear of Virtue. Yep, there it is. Look at that. Our Spear of Virtue, our light dots were increased, and our double dots were fixed finally. Oh my god, guys. Like, if you've been a Warden main over the years, you feel such a huge sense of relief. So, for those of you who don't know or didn't play back then or things like that, in Redline, you get a chance to do a double dot with all of your dots except your light dots. So, not Desolation, Shredded Death Rings, Warcry, things like that. But things like your Precise Blow line and your Power Attack line, everything has a chance to do a double dot or a double proc. Now, the problem with this is back then, your Precise Blow line, so your Precise Blow, your Piercing Strike, and then your Spear of Virtue. Oh, I suck. Your Spear of Virtue. So if you look below there, 15% chance to apply 67,905 damage. All of them were like 4k. I'm not even kidding. So like your initial hit, your initial guaranteed dot, with 68,000 damage, your 15% chance, if it applied, was doing no more than 4,000 damage. It was broken. So you were missing so much damage over the course. And then at that time, yellow was also just crazy strong. So the gap between, that's why yellow worked. And that's why red just didn't work, because red was broken, yellow was overpowered, things like that. Now that yellow has been nerfed and red has been fixed, the gap, the bridge between those two, has been closed, and the gap has now been increased to the opposing side, which is why red is currently meta. So that's a huge change. This is a huge. This now means that you want to keep range resounding challenge up at all times still, because keep in mind it is your still biggest damaging ability. I mean, that's 104k damage right there. But at the same time, whoops, probably would help if I was in the fray. We also want to keep up all of our bleeds at all times to get that double dot, and all of our Precise Blow lines up at all times, just to get that double dot. Now, yeah, we still want to keep stuff like Desolation, because I mean that's 81k right there, and I don't even have Recklessness pop. But you can, we need to be aware. We don't want Precise Blow and Power Attack lines to be inactive as long or as short of amount of time as we possibly can. We were able to get a lot of leanway, because if we didn't have them up, if you didn't have Spear of Virtue up, it wasn't the end of the world, because there was only like 60, 70k. And you could get away with a lot of other stuff, such as a quick sweep or something like that. But keep that in mind. That's a big change now. So, unfortunately, it's a little bit difficult for me to explain this, because I'm kind of repeating it, because Warden is very, very much a class where if you can understand the concept of the class, then all you have to do is put in the time to understand the macro and the micro of it. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is, you can understand the concept of you needing to adapt your rotation, the concept of you needing to understand to build the same gambit in multiple ways, in 3 to 4 different ways. If you can understand the concept of, my rotation is not linear. It is not linear. If you can understand that, then you can understand, oh, okay, I should be doing this gambit and this gambit in this situation, but if this situation occurs, then I need to be doing this gambit and this gambit in this scenario instead. So it's things like that. So if you can understand the concept, then all you have to do is put in the time, and the rotation will flow. So that's why when you guys keep asking me to write down my rotation, my response to you guys is, I mean, I can try to write down my rotation, but you're never going to be in the same situation. Very, very rarely will you be in the exact same situation with the exact same buffs, with the exact same debuffs at that exact moment as I am, which means you shouldn't always be doing the gambits that I'm doing at that specific scenario. Does that make sense? So, that being said, if you want to go over the basics and you feel like you need a refresher of the concept of the class, go back and watch my first yellow guide and my secondary yellow guide, which really I don't even know why I call it a yellow guide. It was just as much a guide of the concept of the class as it was a guide into the yellow rotation. So, however, if you do understand the concept of the class and your knowledge is improved, then we can go ahead and start working on the rotations. Now, I have a couple of different rotations that I've been working on in Redline. The first one that I'm going to show you is a very simple, it is a linear rotation. It is one of the few linear rotations, and I only make this one because it's quick, it's simple, it's forgiving. And what do I mean by forgiving? I mean, this rotation should only take 28 to 29 seconds long, which means your dots that are 32 seconds long haven't even expired yet, and you have a little bit of playtime room in case you've messed up. So that's why this is a very safe rotation. That's why I like this one, and to be able to show you guys. And we're going to start off with it. Do I have food on? I don't want to run out of power. Yeah, I need to eat more food. It's so irritating running out of power. Alright, so I'm going to go through it in a slow motion here for you guys to understand. So all it is we do range resounding challenge, we build goad, hold it, we do marked target with our LI, swappy, diminish target, go back to LI, use goad, in the fray, spear builder, mighty blow, unerring strike. Like I said, I know I'm doing this very, lag, I know I'm doing this very slow, but I want you guys to be able to understand this. And then we're going to do desolation, spear virtue, power attack, onslaught, surety of death, and then we just go right back into range resounding challenge. Good. So I mean, you can see it's a very fluent, very simple rotation, and it's very forgiving. And that's all it is. Now, the problem with this rotation is it does not do the most damage. It can do quite a bit of damage, but you have to have really good RNG with it. I mean, you have to have really good RNG with it. And that's just because, I mean, you're missing so many of your dots because it's a 28-second rotation. It just makes sense. You're not going to have as many dots on there as some of the other rotations. But again, this is a simple rotation for you to kind of get back into the swing of things. Now, one thing why we build goad and we do mighty blow first, some of you are going to be wondering, well, why don't we do unerring strike first? Unerring strike hits harder. It's your strongest bleed unit. You want to get that going as soon as possible. True. Keep in mind, quick sweep or medium bleed quick sweep when you do wall of steel has a chance to consume mighty blow, which means it has a chance to consume that dot and do a burst AoE effect. That's why we do mighty blow first. So from goad we have mighty blow stored in battle memory. So if that bleed does get consumed, you can go ahead and refresh it. Now, excuse me guys. If that you do need to be paying attention, you can just look for the icon. I mean, you'll see it. If you see a bleed icon just disappear immediately, then you know it's been consumed. But if you don't see that consume, you can hold it. You can hold it in your battle memory, kind of closer towards the end of rotation, maybe towards when you're doing like onslaught or power attack. That way, you can have a little bit more time to do to have it ticking. But be careful doing that. And what I mean by be careful doing, oh, bloody hell, I'm in the wrong stance. Let me build it real quick. Alright. So this is 28 seconds, right? Now, applied on expiration if in combat. It's 37,000 damage. It's not the most, sure, it's not. But if it was not going to expire anyways, that's just free damage. That's just free damage that we were missing out on. So keep that in mind. keep that in mind, and that goes for all your bleeds. They all do. I think it's lasting impression, I think is what it's called. Yeah, look at me go. So it's the second point here in Redline. Your game of bleeds deal burst damage when they expire. So that's the first simple rotation. It's very fluent, very quick, very stable. The other rotation you can do, and it has the potential to do a little bit more damage, is it's literally the exact same thing. The only difference is you add ranged and erring strike to it. That's it. That's literally the only difference you do. And you go right back to everything else. So you do Mighty Blow, an erring strike, Wall of Steel, Desolation, Spear of Virtue, into Surety of Death, Power Attack, and then you do Onslaught, and then you just rinse and repeat. So, you know, you would do Range Resigning Challenge again, Range Engineering Strike again, Goad, Mark Diminished, Pop Recklessness, do your second rotation, right? So that's the second rotation you can do. The one that I've been having the most success with, and it was the one that I used to get my 221k parts with, is I'm gonna have to spawn another dummy. Damn. This is the long rotation. Now, this rotation. How do I describe this? Be very cautious doing this rotation until you are comfortable with the class, because this rotation is anywhere from 33 to 36 seconds long, and that is with perfect timing, perfect animation canceling, everything. Now keep in mind your dots are only 28 to 32 seconds long, and the rotation can be up to 36 seconds long, and that's with everything being perfect. So if you mess up, you're going to have 2, 3, 4, maybe even more dots expiring, more than 4 dots expiring, which means your DPS is going to plummet. That's the problem with Redline. Or not necessarily a problem, but that's the risk with playing Redline. There's less room for fuck-ups, right? So you do need to be prepared. You have to stay disciplined. In a raid, you have to find the balance between quick and steady, but not too quick to where lag will mess you up, or to where I'm skipping over mastery. So a DM that I got a lot from you guys on, they said, Cam, why do you build Mighty Blow and an Erring Strike in such a weird way? Now, here, let me do this so I can get my battle prep out of the way. So if you watch me, I always do, when I do Mighty Blow and Erring Strike and Wall of Steel, I do a Spear, and then I use my Shield Fist Mastery, and then my Spear Fist Mastery. That gives me Mighty Blow. And then I do Spear Shield, Fist Spear, and then a Shield Builder. That gives me an Erring Strike. And then I do a Spear Builder, Shield Spear, Shield Shield, and that gives me Wall of Steel, and I cancel it. Now, a lot of you guys are saying, well, why don't you just do Mighty Blow and then an Erring Strike instantly? So you can, but here's what will happen a lot of the times. You'll try to click these 3 masteries, and that'll happen. So these 2 masteries will fire off. This one will not. And look what you've done. Not only have you messed yourself up to where you can't build an Erring Strike instantly, when you do get an Erring Strike, this mastery is also on cooldown to where you've also messed yourself up on Wall of Steel. So the reason I do this is, if something does get messed up, I'm only slowing myself down on 1 gambit and not 2 separate gambits. Does that make sense? So you're eliminating as much of the risk as possible. Like I said, Warden is the most adaptive class. You have to adapt, and you have to take control of the RNG as much as you possibly can. So that's why I do that. Another way that you can build Desolation is, you can do this. You can do your Fist Shield, a Fist Builder, and then your Shield Fist. The other way that I liked to show you guys was, I would do, remember me showing you guys this, I would do Fist Shield, Fist, but I would do my Quick Fix, my Quick Recovery, and then I would do another Shield Fist Mastery. And so when you time it perfectly, Desolation is literally instantly built. But the problem is, if you don't do it properly or lag or something happens, then you're going to get a Brink of Victory off instead, because this didn't go off, or this didn't go off, or something weird happened. And it just takes practice. It just takes practice. But these are the little things that can eliminate a second and a half, 2 seconds off your rotation. And once that's done, that's giving you more time for dots, or that's giving you more time to refresh the dot that expired already. So range resounding challenge is expiring for a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys said, Cam, I'm having a hard time keeping RRC up at all times. It's little things like that that'll give you every precious second back into your rotation. So enough of that. Let me show you guys the rotation that I've been using. Well, let me just go back out of combat real quick. So, sorry guys. Okay, this song is pretty AIDS, not gonna lie. Copyright, I forgot about that. Damn, that's why I listen to Netflix. Feels bad, man. Copyright free, there we go. That's what I like to see. Alright. So, do I need to eat food again? Yeah, I do. Alright, let's go and eat up. And we'll go to this dummy. As usual, we're at Bio's house parsing. Bio, I haven't talked to you in like a month or two, my guy. But I love you still. Love you a long time, buddy. Alright, so this dummy here. Alright, so I'm gonna start off with RRC. I'm gonna go through this rotation pretty quick. I want you guys to kind of see what it looks like in quick motion, and then I'll break it down and kind of explain what I'm doing here. So here we go. Oh shit. And this is why I was talking about lag. You have to find the balance between lag and not lag. Okay, you know what? This has been scuffed. This is just scuffed. Okay, pause the video. Just pause it, please, and skip 30 seconds. Save myself from embarrassment. God. See, even I make mistakes, guys. Some of you guys acted like I was a god at Warden, and I by no means am. Even I make mistakes, probably more than you guys do, so hopefully that makes you guys feel better. Oh, really? Alright, we'll just go back to this one. Alright, take two, I guess. Yeah, here we go. I actually messed up, but that's okay. Oh, that's some awesome lag. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I messed up, but that lag is just terrible. See, I don't even have any of my bleeds ticking anymore. Alright, so let's go through this in slow motion real quick. So you start off with range resounding challenge, right? I'm gonna wait for my master to go off cooldown. So you start off with a range resounding challenge, nothing out of the normal, right? Hit that. Then you go with goad. You build goad. You use your LI for marked target. Swappy. Diminish target. Use goad. Pop in the fray. Swap stances. Builder. Do mighty blow. Unerring strike. Wall of steel. Cancel it. Desolation. Spear virtue. Surety of death. Brink, Power Attack, Piercing Strike, and Onslaught. And then you don't use, remember, you save this. You save your battle memory here, and let me show you why real quick. So now this is the second rotation. So we build Range Resigning Challenge again, Goad, Marked, Swappy, Diminish, Goad, Move, Animation, Cancel Recklessness, Stand Swap, Battle Memory. Dude, this lag is AIDS, man. God. So did you guys see it? Did you guys see what we did here? So if you were paying attention and you saw it really closely, then you see that all we are doing with this rotation is we are using battle memory here, and we are alternating Unerring Strike and Mighty Blow. So that's why the first rotation is always the slowest. It's the slow rotation, right? But all you have to do at that point is alternate the two. So you take 2 more seconds of your first rotation, and then this saves you 3, sometimes even 4 seconds for the rest of your rotation. So, and you're in a 3-minute parts, you're going to get probably 4, maybe 5 rotations. So at that point, you can say that you're technically saving, if you wanted to be a math boy, you're technically saving anywhere between 5.5 to 7.5 seconds, depending on how quick you really are. So that's what this is. And again, this is currently the rotation that I've had the most success with. I've been doing anywhere from 200k to 221k, as you can see. Oh god, copyright, thank god. 221.1k DPS, and that was like my second or third parts with that. So these are pretty much the changes. This is going to be a shorter video because I'm so tired, and I haven't even prepared what I was all going to say to you guys, but that's what this is pretty much what I think is the best way to play the class at the moment. Oh, one thing I did want to say. So remember how we were talking about gear, and I was debating on, capping or overcapping crit, running the crit multiplier, things like that. Something that I thought about doing, and I haven't tested it yet, but I'll probably test it either tomorrow or something like that. Take the 5 points out here, or 4 technically, I should say. Take 4 points out here. Oh, you know what? Yeah, fuck it. We'll say 5 actually. Take 5 points out here and put them into here, your basic strikes, because because remember, in Redline, oh crap. Let me get rid of this. Excuse me. In Redline, your builders hit pretty hard. And in Redline, you're always using Warden's Taunt. You are always using Warden's Taunt. And look at that. It does 17,000 main hand damage. Oh, wait, that's with my crafted on. With my LI, it does 16k. But with your LI on, it does 11,000 damage every 4 seconds for 16 seconds. And there's times where you have like 6 of those fuckers going off at a time, right? So it does a lot of damage. So taking off points in physical mastery and putting them in here, I think is a good idea. But like I said, I haven't tested it yet. And a lot of you guys are going to be like, well, Cam, but yeah, you're going to be losing a shit ton of physical mastery. Well, yeah, but take off all this crit, put back the physical mastery on, raid-wide buffs, all that, and then, as long as your virtues and everything are maxed out, you'll still be at the crit cap, you'll still be at the physical mastery cap, you'll still have, 400k plus morale, you'll still have 300k plus finesse. Like, your stats will be perfectly fine. At that point, all we're doing is we're increasing our builder damage, and we're increasing our spear gambit damage by 3 or 6%. So, excuse me, sorry guys. That's something that I will that I'll experiment with. I think that'll be a really good idea. I don't know. We'll have to toy around with it. Yeah, guys, like I said, I know this is a really short video, but to be honest with you guys, we've already done the hard legwork of the class. Like I said, the main training part of Warden is to understand the concept. If you can understand it's like, think of it just like a school subject. Think of it as a math equation. If you know how to solve one equation, you know how to solve all the equations, right? So if you know how to play Warden, then that means you know how to fix your rotation. That means you know how to adapt your rotation. You just need to understand the concept of the class. But more than anything, guys, I can't play the class for you. I can't. Mittens can't play the class for you. Zero can't play the class for you. Real can't play the class for you. Time is your best friend in this class. Time and consistency. I mean, I am one rusty motherfucker, let me tell you. Not playing in 2 months, oh my god. I was actually getting mad last night or the night before, because I couldn't get a clean parse. I couldn't get a clean 3-minute parse, and it was pissing me off. I mean, you should have heard me going off in Discord. I was so mad. But that just shows you, I mean, you just have to put the time in. You have to keep the consistency up, and I mean, you guys will pull through. You guys will definitely pull through. But yeah, guys, for now, like I said, this was unrehearsed. This was very last minute and quickly planned, so not a whole lot of information in this one. But again, I mean, there's really not much information to go over. Quick recap: Yellow nerfed. Should be getting even more nerfed once they actually fix what they said they were going to fix here in the future. Scaling changed. Red double dots are fixed. Red does more damage almost every time now. Oh yeah, and then test out the crit for yourself, test out the tactical multiplier for yourself, test out the basic builder, the gambit basic strikes for yourself. But other than that, guys, I don't think there's really much else. So like I said, if you have any questions or comments or even suggestions, like a suggestion for me to not do these videos after working 12, 13 hours and then not even sleeping and then going back to work. I literally go back to work in 6 hours. That's a great suggestion, so I can be more energetic and informative for you guys. Please message me on Discord or like and comment in the video. I'll be more than happy to answer any of your guys' questions or read your suggestions or input. I really appreciate it, guys. Other than that, guys, I wish you all the best. Good luck, and remember to have fun. That's something I've been having. Admittingly, I've had to remind myself over the past couple of years of LOTRO to have fun, but unfortunately, it's become increasingly difficult, just because there's so much that they. If you think about it, when was the last time SSG actually made a good patch that was not completely filled with exploits and bugs? Like, honestly, I think the last really good patch. God, I don't even know. I dare say 75, but 95 wasn't bad either. 95 was okay. 100 was okay as well, I guess. But this game is just very challenging. Personally challenging, I think that is the most respectful way you're going to put it. But remember to have fun, guys. But for now, I'm going to go sleep. So good luck, guys. Take care. Bye bye.